What's up, guys? Dan here for BladeReviews.com, taking a look at the Kershaw Nerve. This is an excellent little EDC option from Kershaw. I feel like they have the value everyday carry knife thing down pat. Just so many options in the $20 to $40 range that would make for good everyday carry blades, that it can be a little overwhelming at times if you're tasked with sifting through them all and picking one out. But thankfully, it's very hard to go wrong with any of them, so it just makes it a matter of time for me to kind of work my way through them. And this time we've got, of course, the Kershaw Nerve here on the table. So let's start off with just some quick specs. We've got an overall length of 7 1/2 inches. We've got a 3 1/8 inch long blade and a weight of 3.8 ounces. So nice knife for EDC, 3.8 ounces. I mean, for me, this thing feels fine. Might be a little heavy for some. Let's compare it to a couple other knives. Keep in mind this Nerve here is designed by R.J. Martin, and not too long ago I did a review of the Volt 2, also an R.J. Martin design. And as you can see here, the Nerve is just a little bit bigger. Since we've already got a couple Kershaws on the table, let's put the Kershaw Skyline down as well. So, which is just a classic, perhaps a benchmark Kershaw EDC knife. And a couple things, since I've got all three on the table here, you can see a lot of similarities. The Skyline, of course, is made in America. These two are made in China. And as far as street prices go, the Volt 2 can be had for around 20 bucks, a little bit over 20 bucks. I actually saw a Nerve, partially serrated Nerve, on sale on Amazon for something like $14 or $15, which was a pretty screaming hot deal if you can deal with the partially serrated blade. Typically, I see these going for more like $30. And the Skyline also goes for in the $35 range, although I think they've been phasing them out of Walmart recently, so I've heard people picking them up for as low as 20 bucks. An excellent buy. And this just goes to show just kind of a sampling of some of the breadth that Kershaw has in their value EDC knife offering, and really something for everybody here. But of course today, let's talk about the Nerve. That's what we're here to see, and the Nerve is a nice knife in its own right. So starting off examining the blade, it is a modified drop point, but it also is kind of a modified Wharncliffe as well. As you can see there, it's got a little bit of belly, but a very large flat portion of the knife, so almost a Wharncliffe. And it's got a nice fine tip too, which again is kind of reminiscent of a Wharncliffe. You'd want to be careful with this tip, of course, but excellent for detail work, excellent for some precision cuts, and I think there's a lot to like in this kind of blade shape. It may appear somewhat unconventional, so perhaps not to everybody's tastes, but trust me, there's plenty of utility in this style, and I think overall it's pretty cool. It's been given what I believe is, yes, it's a hollow grind, and the blade has been blasted. It's been sandblasted, and that's how they get that finish on here. To be honest, I'm not wild and crazy about the sandblast finish. I mean, I think it looks fine, but let me show you on my Kershaw Skyline. You can see here it can get prone to rust, and this wouldn't be the first time I've had to clean rust off of my Skyline. I've had this one in a box for a couple months and was afraid of what I might find, but luckily the damage was just to the clip, so I'll have to take that off and try and rub it down and get that rust off there. But that is a problem with the sandblasted finish. I feel like it does kind of open the knife up to a greater chance of rusting. The handle on the Nerve is a G10 over stainless steel liners, full stainless steel liners. These liners have been milled out pretty aggressively, so they're trying to lighten this sucker up, which was a good idea, because at 3.8 ounces, it's not going to keep me from carrying it, but it is kind of creeping up there, and so it's good to see that they were taking some steps to lighten the load. Again, the liners have been given that same blasted finish. Everything here fits together well. There is a large back spacer, and I guess they screwed this back spacer together inside the liner, so they kind of hid the screws, which is interesting. But the G10 on this is pretty nice. It's been given this kind of funky pattern, which offers, you know, a decent amount of traction. It's not like a heavily textured G10, almost kind of a decorative effect to it. But fans of G10 will like this. I know one of the complaints with this Volt 2 was the polyamide handle scales, which personally I liked, and I still do like them. But if you want some G10, you know, the Nerve is one to consider for sure. It is a bit of an upgrade. Many people would consider that to be an upgrade in the materials. Ergonomics on the knife are quite solid. It's a good size EDC knife, so you can get a full grip on there. Thumb ramp has been given some jimping, which is actually very meaningful. And the choil is quite pronounced, and that's also been given some jimping. So you've got all kinds of grip on this thing, in addition to a comfortable handle design. The corners have been rounded slightly. It's not an uncomfortable knife at all. And you can fit it in forward and reverse grips too. I mean, I know this isn't designed to be a tactical knife, mainly in my opinion because it's kind of small, but you could certainly use it in a pinch if you had to. It will accept pretty much any grip you'll throw at it. The pocket clip is great on this knife. It is only tapped for right hand carry only, right side carry only, which is a shame because it would be very easy for Kershaw to just drill that out. But they do give you the option of tip up or tip down, and the clip is one of the more normal looking Kershaw clips I've seen. It almost kind of reminds me of the Skyline clip a little bit, like a little more evolved, and I've got no problems with this clip. The knife carries fairly well. You know, it's a thin clip, and it buries deep in the pocket. No real complaints. It's been given that kind of blasted finish again. So would love to see it four corners though. That would be a big improvement in my mind. Deployment, you've got this kind of thumb disc, you know, modified thumb disc, and you can really put some leverage on there and snap that thing out fast. I do have a fair amount of experience with thumb discs, I guess. They're not really my first choice, but for this blade it works, and for my hand it works great, so I've got no problem with the thumb disc at all. Nice authoritative deployment, very easy to get your thumb in there and leverage this one out. And as you could tell, the deployment was very smooth too. I'm not sure what kind of bushings they have in here exactly, but they appear to maybe be nylon, a combination of nylon and maybe some sort of metal bushing in there too. It's fairly smooth. You know, I've got no problems with getting this thing open fast. So, and for the price, I think it's fine. Lockup is solid here. We've got a nice liner lock, and it is engaged fully, but still very early. And this knife is not new, it's been used, so it perhaps is broken in a little bit, and I think it's doing just fine. So excellent lockup, and deployment is nice too, so no complaints. All in all, guys, I think this is another very solid EDC offering from Kershaw. They've proven that they can do budget EDC just fine, whether they're making the knife in America, like this Skyline, or one of their Chinese-made knives. The Nerve and the Volt 2 are two that I've handled pretty extensively, and they are both quite good. So I think for $30, you're going to get an upgraded handle material. There is no speed safe, no assisted opening with this one. So for fans of the speed safe will be sad, but I know a lot of people don't like the speed assist, so that's good for you, I guess. So that's cool. But for $30, you're getting the G10 scales, you're getting decent steel, and everything's been well put together. It all lines up. I really haven't noticed any issues in fit and finish with this knife at all. And you're getting nice little touches like milled out liners and things like that. So I think it's quite nice for the money. And it's just a matter of, do you dig it? Is this what you're looking for? And if so, I think you can safely pick this one up without any problems. And especially consider that partially serrated one on Amazon for $15. I don't know if that's going to be around forever, but well worth checking out before you pull the trigger. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. This is Dan for BladeReviews.com. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions, and I will be seeing you on the next review. Take care, guys. Be safe.